I'm Zim, and you're listening to the Helpful Photographer Podcast in collaboration with New York City Photo Safari. To register for a safari, please visit newyorkcityphotosafari.com. Last week, I found myself outside shooting in the snow while it was snowing. I was conducting a private session with a couple of longtime clients, and I told them to bring hand towels. And they had a lot of doubt, but in the end, they were really glad they brought the towels. So what's the towel for? The towel was meant to cover the camera equipment and shield it from the snow. But why not a plastic bag or a camera cover? First of all, most people don't have dedicated camera covers handy. The other is plastic bags are really hard to deal with. But on the other hand, if you're shooting in the rain, I would definitely say go with a plastic bag. But I often find that towels are really handy in wet conditions because you can use it to wipe things off with, and the weight of the towel helps to keep it down on the camera if there's a breeze. Now, if you're shooting in the rain, like I said, I would definitely opt for plastic, but I'd still bring a towel to put in the bag. Again, the towel can be used to wipe things off with, like your camera or your wet hands before you put them back into your gloves. When you're shooting in snowy conditions, very often you'll find yourself kneeling in the snow, or worse, mud. So you might consider bringing something you can put your bag on or that you can kneel on, like a plastic bag or a small piece of foam or a rubber mat like a mouse pad. This can be really useful. And yes, there are still mouse pads out there. When I got home from my shoot that day, I happened to speak to two other photographers who had also been out shooting in the cold. One on the snowy covered beaches of Maryland and the other one was in the snowy mountains of Vermont. And funny thing is, both of them mentioned the freezing weather. Although these folks really do know how to dress for the cold, I found that there was one piece of equipment that they lacked, and it was a Zippo hand warmer. These are not electric hand warmers, although Zippo does make an electric one. These use lighter fluid and a flameless flame to keep them lit and warm. And they're rated to last 12 hours, but I've actually had them go about 18. And although everyone knows to layer up for the cold, and those folks certainly did, I've also come to find that many people are not using the right layers, which means they're still cold. I'm a huge fan of synthetics. I've found that the advantage of synthetic materials is that they utilize technology to capture and trap your body heat while wicking moisture. This is really important because if you get wet, you'll be cold. Synthetics also tend to be thinner and lighter than their natural fiber counterparts. The only exception is ultra lightweight down, which is amazing at keeping me warm. If the conditions merit it, you would also want to add waterproof ski pants or rain pants on top of your layers as well. These layers will not only help you keep warm, but they'll also help you keep dry when you need to sit or kneel in the mud or snow. And then there's the issue of rubber boots. Unfortunately, in the cold, they won't help you because they're too thin and your feet are going to get cold. And if your feet are cold, you'll be miserable. Make sure your shoes have really good insulation or a very thick sole to insulate you from the cold ice and snow that you're walking in. You'll also want to consider a warm waterproof hat or beanie of some sort. And yes, they do make beanies that are waterproof. I actually own one. The last thing you might consider is a poncho. Yep, a poncho. You say you have all Gore-Tex gear and everything is waterproof already? Yeah, I don't care. I do too. But I've come to find that a poncho is invaluable because they cover everything. This includes you and your bag. And when you need a dry space to change your lens, the poncho provides you a workspace in which to do it with. Just pull the poncho up over your head and there you have it, a huge dry tent in which to work. All right, that's it for today. I hope that was helpful. Until next time, stay warm, stay dry, and keep on shooting.